Number 12. Question number 1. Define what energy sources means. What is the meaning of energy sources, children? The things that provide energy are called energy sources, right? Let's write. Things that provide energy. Provide energy are called energy sources. Energy sources. Okay? Things that provide energy are called energy sources. Number 2. Write down the energy conversions that take place when using the following equipment. 4 different instances are given. So you had to write down what are the energy conversions, energy transformation from which energy to what type of energy is produced, right? So number 1, electric iron. So what type of energy conversion takes place when we use the electric iron, children? So you all know that you can produce heat energy using electrical energy, right? So in order to operate this electric iron, you need to use electricity. So there what happens? Electrical energy is converted to, when you switch on the iron, what happens? After a few minutes, it gets heated up, right? So what happens? Their electrical energy is converted to heat energy or thermal energy. Let's write down that. Electrical energy. Electrical energy is converted to heat energy. Heat energy. Right? Number 2. Light in a bulb using a solar panel. If we consider light in an electrical bulb, that has to be electrical energy to light energy, because you can light up a bulb using electrical energy. But here in this part, it specifically mentions that light in a bulb using a solar panel. So what is the energy conversion? Solar energy is converted to electrical energy in a solar panel. But you have to consider another instance as well. Using that solar panel, we have to light a bulb. So the solar energy is converted to electrical energy. When we light the bulb, that electrical energy is again converted to light energy. Okay? Let's write that. Right. Solar energy. Solar energy is converted to electrical energy. Then electrical energy again converts to light energy. Okay, children. Light in a bulb using a solar panel. Solar energy is converted to electrical energy. Electrical energy again converted to light energy. Right? Next instance. Electric bell. Electric bell. When you use the electric bell, sound is produced. Therefore, what happens? Electrical energy is converted to sound energy. Let's write. Electrical energy is converted to sound energy. Okay? And the last one. Light in a bulb using a dry cell. Now here light in a bulb using a solar panel. And this one says light in a bulb using a dry cell. What do you know about dry cells, children? Now in this lesson we did not learn about dry cells, but as additional knowledge this is really important. So when it comes to any kind of cells or batteries, they generate electricity using chemical reactions. Have you ever opened up dry cells, children? Have you ever observed what is present inside dry cells? Now there are different types of chemical substances present in dry cells. Even in batteries, different types of chemical substances present. So electricity is generated in any type of cells or battery by reactions of these chemical substances. Okay, children? So what is the energy present in dry cells? Chemical energy. So when we generate electricity using dry cells, that chemical energy is converted to electrical energy, right? So light in a bulb using dry cell, first that chemical energy converts to electrical energy, and using that electrical energy, light energy is produced, right? Let's write that. Light in a bulb used in a dry cell. Chemical energy. Chemical energy is converted to electrical energy. Electrical energy. Then that electrical energy is converted to light energy. Okay, children. So we will go from the beginning. Energy conversions take place when electric ion is worked, right? Electrical energy to heat energy, right? Light in a bulb using a solar panel. Solar energy, electrical energy, solar energy is converted to electrical energy by solar panels. So when you use that solar panel to light a light bulb, electrical energy is converted to light energy, right? An electric bulb, their electrical energy is converted to sound energy, right? So light in a bulb used in a dry cell. The type of energy stored in these dry cells is chemical energy because there are a lot of chemical substances. So because of the reactions between these different chemical substances, electricity is generated. Therefore, when we generate electricity using dry cells, the energy conversion takes place first is chemical energy is converted to electrical energy. And when we light a bulb using that dry cell, that electrical energy is again converted to light energy. Okay, children, I hope this part is clear. Okay, children, next exercise. What is the original source of most of the energy found on Earth? Now you all know the answer for this one. What is the original source, children? That is sun, right? The original source of most of the energy found on Earth is the sun. Right. Number 2. Why is it more advantageous to generate electricity using wind energy than that of generating electricity using fuel? So you have to compare between the wind energy and electricity generated using fuel. What is the difference, children? Why is it more advantageous to generate electricity using wind? So because of some factors, we can come to a conclusion that wind energy is more advantageous. Because when you consider environmental pollution, when you use wind energy to generate electricity, environmental pollution is minimized, right? But when we use fossil fuels, different types of fuels, what will happen? Let's say fossil fuels like coal or diesel, then what happens? A lot of harmful substances get released to the environment, like carbon particles, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, etc. Right? So when it comes to the environmental pollution, wind energy is more advantageous because their environmental pollution is minimized. At the same time, you all know that when it comes to, now there are different types of fuels, right? When it comes to fossil fuels are considered as a limited resource because it takes millions of years to generate these fossil fuels. Therefore, we can't obtain them again and again during a short period of time, right? But when it comes to wind energy, it is a renewable energy resource. So when it comes to wind energy, we can obtain it anytime. Therefore, we will never run out of wind energy, right, children? So because of those factors, we can consider that wind energy, using wind energy to generate electricity is more advantageous. Understand? Right. We'll write the first one. Environmental pollution is minimized. Right. Number 2. Wind is a renewable energy source. So, there is no shortage of it. Okay? Environmental pollution is minimized when you use wind energy. So the question asks, why is it more advantageous to generate electricity using wind energy than that of generating electricity using fuel, right? So environmental pollution is minimized. Wind is a renewable energy source, so there is no shortage of it. We will not run out of wind energy, right? Additional exercise 14. Question number 1. How are fossil fuels made? Do you remember that I explained you how fossil fuels are made, children? And I told you fossil fuels are made by buried plants and animal matter, right? Buried plant and animal matters, they undergo different changes over millions of years. Why does these changes take place? Because of the very high temperatures and pressures present in different parts of the earth. Right, children? So because of these pressure and temperature changes over millions of years, these buried plant and animal matter undergo different changes and fossil fuels are made. Okay, children? Let's write. How are fossil fuels made? Buried plant and animal matter is subjected to high pressure and temperature over millions of years, and it is converted to fossil fuels. Okay? Buried plant and animal matter is subjected to high pressure and temperature over millions of years, and it is converted to fossil fuels, right? Number 2, write 2 examples for biomass. Now, this is also very easy. There are different examples we learn for biomass. So, the main biomass we use is firewood, and we can use coconut shells, coconut husk, dried cow dung, right? Sawdust, those are the examples. Write 2 examples for biomass. Coconut shells, sawdust, right? Write 2 examples, only 2 examples we have to write, coconut shells and sawdust. You can write any example you like. Right, we'll move to the next. Number 15. Mention the energy sources used in the following instances. Look at these instances given. This side instance is given, the other side source of energy you have to mention. Lighting a sawdust stove, drying of grains, running a vehicle, generating electricity in a power plant, winnowing paddy, generating electricity using the energy in atoms, generating electricity using the heat present in the inner layers of the earth, and generating electricity using the changes in seawater levels. Right? So we'll write down light in a soda stove. What is the source of energy? So in order to light a soda stove, you can use biomass, right? Soda stove, rice bran is used. Therefore, source of energy is biomass. Biomass. Okay? Next one. Drying of grains. In order to dry grains, we can use, not only to dry grains, in order to dry clothes as well, we can use solar energy. So what is the source of energy? Sun. Okay. Next one, running a vehicle. Most of the time, in order to run vehicles, we use fossil fuels, right? Petrol or diesel. So they are coming under fossil fuels. It's right. Fossil fuels. And the next one, generating electricity in a power plant. So basically, in order to generate electricity in a power plant, we can use energy stored in water or hydropower, right? So in Sri Lanka, we can use, in order to generate electricity, most of the time we use energy stored in water, right? But apart from that, you can use other energy sources as well. We can write generating electricity in a power plant, energy stored in water. Energy stored in water. Stored in water. Next one, winnowing paddy. What is the meaning of winnowing paddy? Do you remember I explained that when it comes to paddy, the rice grains, sometimes certain rice grains are there, they are half-filled or unfilled. So we have to separate those type of unfilled or half-filled paddy with quality or good paddy, right? Good rice grains. So in order to separate these unfilled rice grains and quality rice grains, we can use the wind, right? So that is known as winnowing paddy. So what is the energy source used? That is the wind. Next one, generating electricity using the energy in atoms. What is the meaning of atoms? Do you remember I explained this part? I told you when you consider matter, solids, liquids or gases, they are made out of tiny particles called atoms, right? So some of these atoms behave in different ways, right? So in some substances, in some elements, these atoms, they are made out of behave in a different way. So because of this different behavior, they can produce nuclear energy. They undergo different changes or reactions, and these are known as nuclear reactions, right? So because of these reactions, you can generate nuclear energy. So nuclear energy can be used to generate electricity. That is because during nuclear reactions, a large amount of heat is generated. This heat can be used to produce steam, and the steam can be used to rotate steam turbines, and thereby we can generate electricity. Right, children? So generating electricity using the energy in atoms. What is the source of energy? Nuclear energy. Nuclear energy. Right, the next one. Generating electricity using the heat present in the inner layers of the earth. What is the meaning of this heat present in the inner layers of the earth? This is about geothermal energy. So under geothermal energy, we learned that in certain parts of the earth, the temperature is very high. In the inner crust of the earth, the temperature is very high. So we can send pipes through these areas, and we can send water through that pipes. So when we take that water from the other side out, because of the heat present in these areas, the water gets heated up and water turns into steam. So steam at high pressure comes out when we take those pipes from another place, right? So using this steam, we can make the steam turbines work and we can generate electricity, right? So generating electricity using the heat present in the inner layers of the earth. So what is the source of energy? Geothermal energy. Geothermal energy. Right? And the last one, generating electricity using the changes in seawater levels. So what is this? Seawater levels changes because of the effect of the sun and the moon. So this is known as tidal waves, occurrence of tidal waves. And we learn that when the seawater level increases, that is known as high tides, and when the seawater level reduces, that is known as low tides. And we learn that these high tides and low tides can be used to generate electricity, right? So here the answer is, the source of energy used is tidal energy. Tidal energy. Okay, children. So light in a soda stove, biomass, drying of grains, sun, running a vehicle, fossil fuels, generating electricity in a power plant, energy stored in water, winnowing paddy, wind, generating electricity using the energy in atoms, nuclear energy, generating electricity using the heat present in the inner layers of the earth, geothermal energy, generating electricity using the changes in sea water level, tidal energy. Okay, children. Exercise number 16. Sun, fossil fuels, wind, energy stored in water, sea waves, geothermal energy, nuclear energy, tidal waves, biomass. Right? Name 2 energy sources that can be used to generate electricity from the above energy sources. I'm sure you understand this question. You know the answers as well. Right? So name 2 energy sources. Out of these energy sources given, name 2 energy sources that can be used to generate electricity. Let's go through. Sun. Can sun be used to generate electricity? Yes. That's where we use the solar panels. So using solar panels, solar energy can be directly converted to electrical energy. So sun can be used. Fossil fuels. Can we use fossil fuels to generate electricity? We can. So I told you in Norochole, we have a thermal power plant, coal power plant, right? By burning coal, we can heat water, and when we heat water, steam at high pressure is produced. This steam can be used to rotate steam turbines, and we can generate electricity. So this is also correct. What about wind? That is also correct. The same process takes place in wind power plants. So we can rotate the turbine with the help of the wind, and turbine is connected to a dynamo and electricity can be generated. This is also correct. Energy stored in water. This is the most common method in Sri Lanka to generate electricity. Right? In hydropower stations, using a flow of water, we can rotate a turbine and we can generate electricity. That is also correct. Sea waves. We watch even a video clip related to this one. Using sea waves, we can generate electricity. So we can install these floating power plants in the sea and we can generate electricity. Right? This is also correct. Geothermal energy. When geothermal energy can be used to generate electricity. Do you remember there are certain places in the earth where temperature is very high? So we can send water pipes through those areas, and when water goes through these areas with very high temperatures, water gets heated up and steam is produced. So we can, from another place, we can take this steam out and we can make the steam turbines rotate, and thereby we can generate electricity. So using geothermal energy also, we can generate electricity. What about nuclear energy? Nuclear energy also can be used to generate electricity. They are in nuclear power plants. I told you, during nuclear reactions, large amount of heat or thermal energy is generated. So again, we can use this thermal energy released in these nuclear power plants in order to produce steam, and steam can be used to make turbines work, and we can generate electricity. So this is also correct. What about tidal waves? Tidal waves also can be used to generate electricity. So there are two types of tidal waves called high tides and low tides. So if a considerable difference is there between the heights of these tides, we can generate electricity using special types of generators. Okay, so this is also correct. What about biomass? Biomass also can be used to generate electricity, children. There are many developed countries like England, Finland, they generate electricity using biomass. So using biomass, we can heat water in boilers. By burning biomass, we can obtain heat, and water is heated up and steam is produced, and this steam can be used to generate electricity, right? Because steam can make a turbine work, and when turbine is connected to a dynamo, we can generate electricity. So what is the conclusion? All of these energy sources can be used to generate electricity. So here ask, name two energy sources that can be used to generate electricity from the above energy sources. So you can write any two instances. Okay, children? I'm going to write what is present in Sri Lanka. There are a number of energy sources we use even in Sri Lanka to generate electricity. The most common method is energy stored in water. Energy stored in water. Then I'm going to write solar energy. Okay, you can write any two out of these energy sources given. We'll move to the next. Exercise number 17. The diagram below shows a model of a turbine that rotates using flowing water. Do you remember we made the similar type of turbine? This is the similar thing. Right. What materials are used to make this model turbine? Right. When you consider the turbine part, now this is the entire structure that we made. When you consider the turbine part, we can use a cork stopper and yogurt spoons. Right? We will write cork stopper, yogurt spoons, and we can use a plastic bottle. Right. However, the main part, the turbine part, was made with cork stopper and yogurt spoons, right? Next one. How can you increase the efficiency of the turbine? What do you mean by the efficiency of a turbine, children? Efficiency of the turbine means the speed of rotation. I explained you all that when the turbine rotates fast. Now let's consider if this is a hydropower plant. When the turbine rotates fast, what happens, children? The dynamo that is fixed to the turbine, that also will rotate fast, right? When the dynamo rotates fast, then what happens, children? It can generate more electricity, right, children? So what we have to do in order to increase the efficiency of the turbine, increasing the efficiency of the turbine means increasing the speed of rotation of this turbine. So in this case, what can we do in order to increase the speed of rotation of this turbine, children? I mentioned three changes that you can do. What can you tell me about the tap and the turbine? So if you increase the distance between the tap and the turbine, what will happen? Then this tap has more potential energy. Now this tap is similar to the water tank or the reservoir. Do you remember I told you when you locate this water at a higher elevation or higher position, it can obtain more potential energy, or it can store more potential energy, right? So if more potential energy is stored in water, So when that water flows down to this turbine, it will give more energy to this turbine in order to rotate, right? So the first change you can do is you can increase the distance between. Distance means this distance between the tap and the turbine. Okay. What are the other changes that you can do? You all know that you can increase the number of yogurt spoons fixed, right? So when it comes to this structure, these yogurt spoons are equal to the blades of a turbine. So by increasing the number of yogurt spoons, it is similar to increasing the number of blades of a turbine. Okay? So thereby it will rotate efficiently with high speed. Understand, children? What are the other changes you can do, children? You can increase the flow of water. How can you increase the flow of water and the speed of water? You can increase the volume and the speed of water by fully opening the tap. You can open this tap completely and thereby more water will fall onto this turbine and it will rotate faster. Understand? So we will write, how can you increase the efficiency of the turbine? Let's write, increasing the distance between the tap and the turbine. Then increasing the number of yogurt spoons fixed and increasing the volume and speed of water by fully opening the tap. Okay. Increasing the distance between the tap and the turbine. Tap and the turbine. Right. Or increasing the height of the tap. Right. The location of the tap. Okay. Increasing the distance between the tap and the turbine. Increasing the number of yogurt spoons fixed. And increasing the volume and speed of water by fully opening the tap. Okay. Let's move to the next. Right. Exercise number 18. Write the energy conversion that takes place during the generation of electricity in a hydropower plant. Hydropower plant. Now look at this picture. This is a hydropower plant. You can see this is the tank or the reservoir with stored water. So stored water contains, because it is located at a higher position, it has potential energy. So from the reservoir to the turbine, water flows. Flows means moves, right? The moving water contains what type of energy, children? Kinetic energy, right? So potential energy converts to kinetic energy, and kinetic energy can make the turbine work and thereby electricity is generated. Therefore, then finally electricity is generated and electric energy is produced, right? So we will write potential energy. Potential energy is converted to kinetic energy, and kinetic energy is converted to electrical energy. Electrical energy. So the energy conversion that takes place during the generation of electricity in a hydropower plant is Potential energy is converted to kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is converted to electrical energy, right? Number 2. The figure shows how water flows in a power plant to generate electricity. What should be present in the place labeled as C? Look at this one, children. So, A is stored water. Here, B is flowing water, right? Stored water has potential energy. Flowing water has kinetic energy, that is B. This is the turbine. The turbine rotates because of the kinetic energy of water. So, turbine is connected to C. What is C? When the turbine rotates, the axle of the turbine is connected to the dynamo and the dynamo also works, right? So, C is dynamo. When the dynamo rotates, the dynamo works, electricity is generated, right? So, what is labeled as C? Dynamo. You can even write generator. Out of the places A, B and C, in which place electricity is generated? So as I mentioned you before, electricity is generated at C because that is the dynamo. Okay? At C. Name a hydropower plant in our country. We have number of hydropower plants. What are they? We have Victoria Power Plant, Randhenigala Power Plant, Rantambe Power Plant, Upper Kothmale Power Plant. Likewise, there are a number of hydropower plants. We even have mini hydropower plants as well, apart from those major hydropower plants. Okay, children? We will write one of them. Name a hydropower plant. Randhenigala. Randhenigala Power Plant. Okay, children? Right. Next one. Exercise 19. The solar thermal cooker made of a concave mirror is given here. Look at this picture. Now, this is the concave mirror. You all know that mirror has a shiny side. So, this is the shiny side, this is the concave side. Now, this side is the shiny side. Okay, children? So, you all can see sunlight falls onto the shiny side of the concave mirror. So, what did I explain? I told you when the sunlight falls onto this mirror, the sunlight gets reflected by the mirror. And these reflected light rays will gather in the same place, and that place, the temperature of that place is higher than the other areas. So, if you place a pot or a vessel at that place, you can easily heat water or you can cook food. Okay, children? So, this is the water vessel. So, the sunlight, and this is the stand. Right, children? So, name a material that can be used to make a solar thermal cooker instead of a concave mirror. So, instead of a concave mirror, what are the other substances that you can use? You have to use whatever the substance you use, whatever the material you use to make this structure, you have to cover the inner part or the concave part with a shiny surface, shiny silver color surface. Okay, children? So, in that case, you can cover it with aluminium foil or even aluminium sheets, right? So, we will write, name a material that can be used to make a solar thermal cooker. Now, do you remember we make that solar thermal box stove? So, we covered the stove with a silver color paper, or even you can use aluminium foil, right? We will write aluminium foil or even aluminium sheets also correct. Aluminium sheets. Okay. Number 2. Write down 2 uses of the solar thermal cooker. So, we can use this solar thermal cooker to cook food, like the diagram given here, to heat water. Right, children? Let's write. To cook food. To cook food. To heat water. Right. Number 3. What is the source of energy required to operate this cooker? What is the source of energy? Solar energy, sunlight, right? So, what is the source of energy? Sun. Okay. Number 4. Name the laboratory instrument that can be used to check whether the temperature of the water is increased. Do you remember during the experiment we used certain instrument to check whether the water's temperature is increased? What is the instrument? That is thermometer. Thermometer. Right. Number 5. What is the substance present inside the instrument that you mentioned above? Now when it comes to thermometer, do you remember? How does it look like? So it is a glass where it is made out of glass and it has a bulb like this. So in order to fill this bulb, we can use mercury and also colored alcohol. Right? We can use mercury or alcohol. So what happens when this bulb part gets heated up? That mercury or colored alcohol, it goes up. It goes up through a capillary tube, very thin tube. Okay, so that we can get the reading. So what is the substance present inside the instrument that you mentioned above? Mercury or alcohol. We can write mercury, alcohol as 2 points we'll write. Alcohol. Most of the time mercury is used. Okay, children? Right. Exercise 20. Number 1. What gives green plants the energy they need to produce food? What is the single word we can give instead of these producing food in green plants? That is photosynthesis. You all know that photosynthesis needs 4 factors, right? There should be 4 factors in order to do photosynthesis by plants. What are the factors, children? Carbon dioxide gas or atmospheric carbon dioxide, soil water, chlorophyll in plant leaves and sunlight. So the energy needed for the whole process is given by the sun. Okay, so what gives green plants the energy they need to produce food? That is sun. That is why photosynthesis process takes place only during the daytime. Okay. Number 2. What is the gas made using biomass? So do you remember I mentioned that under controlled conditions, like in a sealed condition, these different types of biomass like kitchen waste materials and rotten vegetables, they break down by microorganisms, right? And thereby, what is the gas produced, children? Biogas. Okay, children. So, what is the gas made using biomass? That is biogas. Right. Number 3. A collection of solar cells is called a solar panel. Explain how solar panels are useful for space travel. Now, even this one we learned under solar energy or sun as an energy source. Do you remember this, children? Do you remember I explained that in spacecraft, so in artificial satellites, huge solar panels are fixed. So now these spacecraft, they have to orbit the Earth. So they need energy to do this work. So where do they get this energy from? Now we can't give them fuel because they are away from the Earth. So how do they produce this energy? They produce energy, electricity needed to do their activities using solar panels. So solar panels can convert solar energy into electricity, and this produced electricity by solar panels can be used to charge their special batteries. Okay, children, let's write that. Solar panels fixed to the spacecrafts. Spacecrafts Solar panels that are fixed to the spacecrafts convert solar energy to electrical energy. Electrical energy. This electrical energy can be used to charge the battery of spacecrafts. Okay, children. Solar panels fixed to the spacecrafts convert solar energy to electrical energy. This electrical energy can be used to, we have written twice in the race one. Okay. This electrical energy can be used to charge the battery of spacecrafts. Okay, children? Right. Exercise number 21. Fill in the blanks using the words given within brackets. Look at the words camphor, lakshapana, norachole, solar panels, heat, sun, energy stored in water, LP gas, wind, dry cell, thermometer. Let's go through these questions. Number 1. Provide the energy needed for satellites. Satellites get energy from the solar panels because solar panels convert solar energy to electrical energy and satellites can charge their battery using this electrical energy, right? So, solar panels present here, therefore solar panels. Solar panels. Number 2. In Sri Lanka, electricity is mainly generated using, what is the main way of generating electricity in Sri Lanka, children? Using hydropower, using the energy stored in water, right? So here we have energy stored in water. Energy stored in water. Next one is a type of energy. Here we have heat. Heat is a type of energy. Number 4 is a renewable energy source. What is the meaning of a renewable energy source, children? The type of energy sources that we can obtain again and again. Let's go through them. Camphor, lakshapana, norachole, solar panels, heat, sun. Now sun is a renewable energy source. Energy stored in water, LP gas. Again we have wind. We have 2 answers for this, I think. Here we have dry cells and thermometer. Energy sources, here we have sun and wind as renewable energy sources. And we have energy stored in water as well, but we used it here, right? So we will mark the used ones first. Solar panels, energy stored in water, and heat. So we have 2 answers for this one. Therefore, I am going to leave this for now because we can write both any of these answers, sun and wind. Therefore, for now, I am going to leave it. Let's see. Number 5. Converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Do you remember I explained when it comes to different types of electrical cells and batteries, any kind of cells and batteries, they have chemical energy stored. They have chemical substances stored in them, right? So they generate electricity using chemical reactions. There the energy conversion takes place is chemical energy is converted to electrical energy, right? So what converts chemical energy into electrical energy? Here we have the answer, dry cell. Okay? The dry cell. The dry cell converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Number 6 is the largest natural energy source. Again, we have to write an energy source, but it is the largest natural energy source. Now here we have two energy sources remaining. That is sun and wind. So out of these two, what is the largest natural energy source? Obviously that is sun. So we have to write sun here. So the sun is the largest natural energy source. So here, as I told you, we left this number 4. Therefore, we can write wind over here. The wind is a renewable energy source. Right. Number 7 is a hydropower plant in Sri Lanka. Lakshapana, Norocchole. Lakshapana is a hydropower plant. What about Norocchole? It is a thermal power plant. Okay. So, answer is Lakshapana. Lakshapana is a hydropower plant in Sri Lanka. Is used to measure the temperature. What is the instrument that we use to measure temperature? That is thermometer. Answer is here. Thermometer. Thermometer is used to measure the temperature. Number 9. In Sri Lanka, a thermal power plant is located in, now we know that, Norocchole. Norocchole. Right, we'll go from the beginning. Solar panels provide the energy needed for satellites. In Sri Lanka, energy is mainly generated using the energy stored in water. Heat is a type of energy. Wind is a renewable energy source. The dry cell converts chemical energy into electrical energy. The sun is the largest natural energy source. And Lakshapana is a hydropower plant in Sri Lanka. The thermometer is used to measure the temperature. And in Sri Lanka, a thermal power plant is located in Norocchole. Okay, children? Right. Number 22. Write down 4 energy sources widely used in Sri Lanka. What are the most widely used energy sources? Let's write. So basically we generate electricity using hydropower. Therefore, energy stored in water. Energy stored in water. So in our day-to-day life, we use fossil fuels, petrol, diesel to run our vehicles. Therefore, fossil fuels also another energy source. Fossil fuels. And we use solar energy as well. Therefore, sun is the next widely used energy source. And biomass is also used, children. So in rural areas, people still use firewood as biomass. Okay? Firewood. Number 2. Write 3 countries that generate electricity by nuclear energy. Nuclear energy, not all the countries have generate electricity using nuclear energy, only some countries. United States, Russia, China, France, they generate electricity using nuclear energy. Let's write United States. Russia. China. Okay, children. Exercise number 23. Write 3 examples for fossil fuels. Now, this is very easy, children. Let's write what are the examples for fossil fuels. We can write coal, petrol, diesel, even kerosene. You can write as an example. Number 2. Mention a radioactive material that is used in nuclear power plants. Now I explained you in nuclear power plants using special type of elements we can generate nuclear energy, right? So the special types of nuclear fuels are again known as radioactive materials. Okay children, because of their special properties. So what are the examples? Mention a radioactive material. The most widely used radioactive material in nuclear power plants is uranium, and thorium is also used. Let's write uranium. Okay children. Exercise number 24. Now this is the last exercise of this lesson, right? An apparatus designed to generate electricity in the laboratory is given below. Now look at this diagram carefully children. Now you all know how to generate electricity using wind. Now this is also same type of apparatus. You all can see this tube provides wind artificially because this process is done in the lab. Okay, so you have to provide wind artificially. So this is the tube that provides wind. You can see this is the turbine, wind turbine, right? It's a model turbine. And you can see a special belt-like structure connecting this turbine and this sea, right? This is a special belt. And what is this sea children? This is a small motor. And this is the axle of the small motor. This is the axle of the small motor. And you all can see the terminal of the small motor is connected to a bulb, right? So, how does this apparatus generate electricity, children? Now, because of the wind, this propeller or the small turbine rotates. So, when the turbine rotates, this movable belt that is connected to the axis of this turbine, that also rotates, right? That also moves or rotates. Because of the movement of this movable belt or because of the rotation of the movable belt, so you all can see that the other end of the belt is connected to the axle of the motor. So the axle of the motor also rotates. When the axle of the motor rotates, what happens children? The small motor can generate electricity. So because of the electricity generated, you can illuminate this bulb. Understand children? Okay. Name the parts A, B, C and D. So what is A? The tube that provides wind, right? And B is the movable belt. C is the small motor and D is the light bulb. So remember children, when you get questions, sometimes you will get these type of different questions as well. But anyway, you all have learned the theories related to these type of activities. Okay, let's write the answer. Part A. The tube that provides wind. B. Movable belt. Movable belt. Now see, here is the small motor. And finally D is the light bulb. Right. Number 2. Which source of energy is used to generate electricity here? What is the source of energy? That is wind, right? Okay. We'll move to the next question. Number 3. What is the function of C? What is C? C is the small motor. What is the function of C? C can generate electricity. How does it generate electricity? It can convert the kinetic energy. Now I told you, when the axle of this motor rotates, it can generate electricity. So rotating something is moving something. It means it contains kinetic energy. So motor can convert the kinetic energy into electrical energy, right? So what is the function of C? Converting kinetic energy kinetic energy into electrical energy. Electrical energy. Okay. So what is the function of C? Converting kinetic energy into electrical energy. Right, children? Number 4. Briefly explain how electricity is generated using this apparatus. So I already explained that. So because of the wind provided by this tube, the small turbine rotates and the kinetic energy of this turbine is transferred to the motor or the axle of the motor by this movable belt, right? So when the axle rotates, it can generate electricity, right? The motor can generate electricity when the axle rotates, and thereby using that electricity, the bulb lights up. Okay? Let's write that. When wind is provided, the small turbine rotates. The kinetic energy of the turbine is transferred to the axle of the motor, through the movable belt. When the axle of the motor rotates, electricity is generated. Okay, children. When wind is provided, the small turbine rotates. The kinetic energy of the turbine is transferred to the axle of the motor through the movable belt. When the axle of the motor rotates, electricity is generated. Okay, children? So you have to write the answer briefly like this. Okay, children? Right, children. Now we have completed the entire lesson. So this is a quite long lesson, right? So we learned a lot of new things under this lesson, and some of these things you have already learned before. So I'm sure you enjoyed the lesson. And as you remember, we made small setups, small models under different activities. And you all can make most of these small models be made under this lesson even at home. So try to make those models so that you will understand this lesson better. And try to do these exercises again and again. If you made any mistake while doing these exercises, try to read the notes again and you will understand this lesson really well.